Hello, it's Phillip Taylor speaking from Richmond Green Chambers in London. This morning I'm looking at a book which has come to us from TOLLEY'S and LexisNexis, and it's an interesting book in a series of books which are looking at taxation. The one that we're looking at this morning is called TOLLEY'S Techwise Income Tax 2014 to 15, and it's been written by the TOLLEY exam training team. As I say, it's from LexisNexis. This is the publication here. It's quite a heavy book. It's a paperback. There's the front, there's the side, and then there's the spine, and there's some detail about it on the back. Let's have a look at the book itself. There's a reasonably short index, which is at the back there, to find things that you're looking for. And you've got a number of specific chapter headings. If we go to the front, you get a better idea of it. There's the first page, then you get that bit there, then you have an introduction. Do have a look at the introduction because it explains what the book is really about and what it's aiming at. They're relatively new as a series of publications dealing with the specific areas of taxation. Then of course there's the contents page. There are 50 odd chapters. In fact, a total of 50. Then you have rates and allowances listed for personal income tax. Then you go on from there. If I just go into the middle of the book, you can see that you've got quite a lot of footnotes at the sides, which are very helpful to find things quite quickly. You do have right at the beginning, effectively, a learning outcome, if you like, because this is obviously by an exam board, so they're looking to see what you're going to find out with a particular chapter. And you'll see with the chapter headings, we have the chapter number, and then the paragraph numbering is at the side for the chapter number and then a paragraph. And that makes it reasonably easy to find. And you do have the actual footnotes under the individual paragraph, so that's quite important to know about. I found this very useful as a book. There are lots of illustrations as well. This is income tax, as I've said, which are in the shaded areas. And you've got a lot of various other points throughout. For instance, there's another illustration there, which you can see. Now, as I say, this book is an important book, and I understand that they're going to be, there are a whole series of them. We've only reviewed 3. This is on income tax, but they are for this financial year 2014 to 15, and I would have thought after the general election on the 7th of May 2015 we will probably have another one of these looking at whatever the decision is by whoever is forming the new government, what will happen with taxation after that date, because it is to be expected that there will be some sort of budget following the general election. That's assuming, of course, there is a result. Now, Elizabeth and I have written a review of this book, and we've said new from TOLLEY'S, an accessible guide to income tax for experts and non-experts alike. And I think that's the key. This is an accessible guide. It's relatively easy to read for a tax book, and it's for both experts and non-experts, and it tries to make it as simple as possible. And obviously I think they've succeeded with that, and I thank them very much for doing so, because this sort of thing is very important both for us as barristers. We have to do a certain amount of taxation law, as everybody else does in terms of their training. So it's useful to know about it, although if you specialise, of course, you're going to use the bigger, more detailed books. This is what we say anyway. If you're a legal practitioner or accountant, you almost without a doubt know about TOLLEY'S tax annuals, which for decades have kept practitioners up to date with the inevitable changes in tax legislation. But do you know about TOLLEY'S Techwise? It's brilliant. It will make your life as a practitioner or tax advisor just a little easier, so check it out. Recently launched by TOLLEY'S, Techwise is a series of manuals on specific tax matters. I'm not quite sure how many they've got, but I think it's 6 or 7. Our comments will focus here on the one entitled Income Tax 2014 to 15, so it's current as I record this in February 2015. But also note that there's another Techwise manual on capital gains tax and a third on inheritance tax, which we will be looking at. As TOLLEY'S explain, Techwise manuals offer the same trusted and reliable analysis of law, and its practical application as well, which of course is of vital importance to us as advisors, and it's across the board with advisors. And anybody familiar with tax annuals will know how difficult this is. But what we've got here with the Techwise series is information in a more concise and accessible form. What TOLLEY'S are offering is a plain-speaking, practical approach to all or most problems or issues that you or your clients might have on tax, and in this case it's income tax. It might be somewhat inaccurate to call Techwise a précis or a digest of the tax annuals. Each Techwise publication, from what we can see, including this one on income tax, covers all facets of the subject in a comprehensive and clear manner. All the main criteria pertaining to the subject are examined and explained, mainly via illustrative examples, which I showed you. They're in boxes, shaded sections, and there are flowcharts as well, which are designed to show clearly the way in which specific tax principles work in practice. Of course, it's a big issue in the general election campaign, so it's something that's well worth looking at. TOLLEY'S Techwise Income Tax, therefore, for 2014 to 15 is a brilliantly organised guide to income tax computation. Within its 50 chapters, it covers every pertinent aspect of income tax, from calculating income tax liability to self-assessment, national insurance contributions, property and pensions and employment income, to venture capital, and of course much more. Overseas aspects in those areas also are dealt with very well indeed, including what are called residence issues, foreign employment income, and double tax relief. It's fully up to date with the provisions of the Finance Act 2014, and so we think that TOLLEY'S Techwise Income Tax 2014 to 15 it's been written by experts in the TOLLEY exam training team, and it is for both experts and non-experts alike. And they've got over 10 years experience of running courses and writing course material for tax examinations, so they've obviously got a lot of experience in this area of teaching. The beauty of this manual is that it uncomplicates the often complicated issues relating to income tax and is therefore accessible, useful, and certainly handy for experts and non-experts alike, as I've said. And no tax practitioner, we think, should be without it, because it's actually quite easy to read. Let me just show you it again. There's the front. Let's just go into it a bit. You can see, again, there are subheadings with the paragraph numbers. This is penalties for incorrect returns and other points and so forth. That's on the main returns that you do. Recovery of overpaid tax and amendments and various other things. And as I say, venture capital trusts. So you've got a huge amount of information in each chapter. There's a lot of information here, but I think it's of very great assistance to us in understanding the tax responsibilities we have in our society, which are frankly very onerous. Anyway, thank you to TOLLEY'S very much indeed, and Lexis, for producing what is an excellent additional piece of material for us in this difficult area of our practice. Thank you. Bye-bye.